What ancient humans did that you still do every day. You do it every single day. Right now, in fact, you might be doing it, but you have no idea why. Your ancestors did the exact same thing 200,000 years ago, and the reason they did it is the reason you do it now, even though the world has completely changed. What is it? You gather information before you act. Sounds simple. But here's what's strange. You gather information in almost exactly the same way your ancestors did, and that's a problem. Let's start with your ancestors. Imagine you are standing on the African savannah 100,000 years ago. You see a watering hole in the distance. Your throat is dry. You need water. But before you walk toward it, you pause. You look, you listen, you smell the air. You are gathering information. Is there a predator? Is the water safe? What does your body tell you? This is called environmental scanning. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has shown that humans developed this behavior as a survival mechanism. We are not the fastest animals. We are not the strongest. But we are the best at reading a situation before we commit to it. We gather data. We assess risk. Then we move. Fast forward to today. You wake up. Before you check your email, you scroll through your phone. You are gathering information. What happened while you slept? What do people think? What should you know? Your brain is doing exactly what it did on the savannah. It is scanning the environment for threats and opportunities. You walk into a meeting at work. Before you speak, you listen. You watch people's faces. You read the room. You are gathering information. Is this a safe moment to share an idea? Who has power here? What is the real conversation beneath the words? Again, environmental scanning. Even your relationships work this way. Psychologist John Gottman studied thousands of couples and found that successful partners do one thing consistently. They gather information about their partner's emotional state before they respond. They pause. They listen. They ask questions. They don't react immediately. They assess first. But here's where it gets interesting. Your ancient brain is still using ancient tools to gather information in a modern world. On the savannah, environmental scanning took seconds. You looked, you listened, you smelled. Then you knew enough to act. The information was real. It was immediate. It was limited. Today, you are drowning in information. You scroll endlessly. You read headlines without context. You watch videos designed to trigger fear or outrage. You gather data constantly. But the data is often false, manipulated, or incomplete. Your ancient scanning mechanism is overwhelmed. Neuroscientist Daniel Kahneman calls this the availability heuristic. Your brain assumes that the information easiest to access is the most important information. On the savannah, this worked perfectly. The loudest sound was usually the most dangerous. The brightest color was usually the most important. But online, the loudest voices are often the most manipulative. So you are trapped. You still gather information before you act, because that instinct kept your ancestors alive. But you are gathering the wrong information in the wrong way for the wrong reasons. Your ancestors paused at the watering hole and looked, and that pause saved their lives. Now you pause at your phone. And that pause, that same ancient impulse, might be costing you clarity, peace, and time. The question is not whether you will gather information. You will. Your brain demands it. The question is, will you gather it like your ancestors did, or will you learn to gather it like a modern human should?
Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.